everyone, it's me, and today let's watch this video together. Game exchange, cut the talk.
Hey everyone, 𝐿𝐞𝐿𝐞 here.
Hey,
oh man, it's that time of year again. It's Zelda month.
Zelda month.
That wonderful time of year where the gaming YouTuber community celebrates all things Zelda. And what great timing too, as the next big Breath of the Wild DLC pack, the Champion's Ballad, featuring a new dungeon and story quest, is coming out in December.
Wow.
With all the Zelda hype in mind, I wanted to go back.
I mean, like, it's like, oh, RIP the Zelda month. So yeah.
I can have another look at Breath of the Wild in a cultural light, because like I said back in my first video on the game, there's like 5 different things I could talk about, and at this point in time that number is still growing. However, there's been one group I've been dying to talk about that debuted in Breath of the Wild, the Yiga clan. Because while the 𝐷𝐞𝐿𝐴 may have subtly borrowed designs and architecture from Japan's Jomon period, as I mentioned in that previous video, the Yiga beat you over the head with ninja culture so hard you're gonna be coughing up Naruto meme.
Finally, I can buy a new manga.
And surely that revelation is actually pretty simple, right? I mean, in just fighting them, you can see their shinobi influences. They do hand mudras to teleport, they disguise themselves as travelers only to attack you when your guard is down, strike at you from the shadows, and they're agile as heck. Just get here. But there are also more real and hard influences that have been pulled from the past that connect the Yiga to actual ninja culture and history. Granted, real history of the ninja is nightmarishly esoteric at best, but there's still a lot to take in when it comes to the Yiga clan in Breath of the Wild.
Especially in this game where there might be influence from the shinobi history.
Like their primary weapon, the vicious sickle, for example. A lot of people are still under the impression that ninja predominantly use swords as their go-to weapon.
Which is not true.
Which historically isn't even close to being true. Katanas and ninjato were both incredibly expensive to make and took upwards of 3 months just to make one. Ninja clans also lived in isolated self-governing communities, mostly as farmers, so they didn't exactly have a lot of money to mass-produce swords. Finally, the average katana was over 3 pounds in weight and over 2 feet long.
Yeah, 2 feet long. Quite hard to hide that when you are trying to be hidden.
Not exactly the easiest thing to carry around while climbing on the ceiling. Thus, the various ninja clans had to utilize what they had as farmers as weapons, and a particular farming tool, the kama, became one of the most iconic weapons of the ninja's arsenal. Highly adaptable with modifications like weights and chains, able to disarm and dispatch their sword-wielding enemies in a flash. Thus, I find it really interesting that the Yiga primarily wield a sickle rather than any kind of sword. I mean, yeah, the Yiga brutes carry around a sword that would give the 𝐷𝐴 a run for its money, but you don't encounter them all that often. Instead, you usually end up getting ambushed by the more scrawny boys, which is yet another thing that really link the Yiga to real-life ninja. Unlike how most of popular media sees shinobi in their black masks and jumpers, actual ninjas spend most of their time hiding in plain sight, dressed as farmers, travelers, monks, even ladies of the evening, all acting as agents for recon and occasionally assassinations. The Yiga, in turn, act in similar fashion. Link encounters them in all corners of Hyrule dressed as travelers and common folk, completely unaware of their true identities until they make their attack. In Breath of the Wild, unless you've memorized their spawn points, it's almost impossible to determine who's a commoner and who's a Yiga agent in disguise, hiding in plain sight as they track down Link to ambush him. The Yiga could be anyone.
Wow, that's true. Could be anyone. Isn't it correct?
Man or woman, traveler or merchant, or even Iwata? It all makes sense now. Okay, on the topic of those freaking bananas, I've had people time and time again ask me over the last 8 months of this game's existence, why do the Yiga obsess over them? So let me take a quick break from all this ninja talk for just a second so I can finally put this thing to bed. Bananas are quickly becoming Japan's favorite fruit, as reflected in a survey by the Japanese Banana Importers Association. Yes, that is actually a real thing.
Japan Banana Importer Association.
In it, 65% of the general public said they regularly ate them. And in fact, according to the JBIA, I still can't believe that's a thing, bananas make up 60% of Japan's fruit imports. And all this information was taken as late as 2014. So maybe it's just a coincidence, but it wouldn't surprise me if Japan's growing love of bananas didn't make its way into Breath of the Wild. Alright, you cool? Alright, back to it then. So we've covered the Yiga clan's weapons, techniques, and bananas. But honestly, all of
No. It's not bananas. It is mighty bananas. Yeah. Oh my god, why am I doing this?
that is small potatoes when it comes to the one thing that really makes the Yiga stand out as authentic ninjas in gaming. Their hideout. I'm serious. As soon as you get to the Yiga clan's base of operations, all semblance of subtlety when it comes to their cultural references just goes right out the window. And in its place is an outpost so wrapped up not only in ninja culture, but Japanese culture in general that it makes Bowser's Kingdom from Super Mario Odyssey look like a discount anime convention. When you first start making your way to the Yiga's base of operations through the Karusa Valley, you start seeing these long tethers of rope and what look like and sound like panels of clackers just overhead. Well, at first I thought it was merely decor. After doing some research, I've come to find that these are strikingly similar to a bamboozling ninja trap known as Naruko Clapper.
Naruko.
Originally used to keep wild animals out like the Shishiodoshi or deer scare, Naruko clappers were small cylinders or slabs of wood strung up on ropes that would make a horrible clattering noise should anything trip on it. Though originally used by farmers, ninja would create extensive networks of Naruko so large that should a human or animal trip it, the long stretch of clappers would rattle for nearly a mile long. And that's only the first ninja-ism you discover heading into the Yiga clan hideout.
Wow! How much planning must be involved to have 1 mile long of landmine trap, signaling trap, I think.
As you continue to progress, you find dozens, and I mean dozens, of medium-sized frog statues. We learned from Pai and Kakariko Village that originally the frog statues are actually guardians that guide the path of the Sheikah. And let's be real here, the Sheikah are also pretty dang ninja. Now, a lot of you guys have probably seen that trope of ninjas associated with frogs in gaming for quite some time now. Heck, the first time I remember seeing it as a kid was back in Mega Man 6, and 20 years later I'm still seeing it in modern games like Neo and Persona. But while at first I thought there was some kind of mystical relationship between the two, the connection actually comes from an 18th century novel called The Tale of the Gallant Jiraiya.
Oh, it's not. Oh, even Naruto have the summoning jutsu. Correct.
Long story short, it's a tale about how an evil snake ninja named Orochimaru usurped the Ogata clan and tried to kill its sole heir, Hiroyuki Ogata. However, an old toad sage named Senso Dojin rescued Hiroyuki and trained him in the ways of ninjutsu and toad magic. When his training was complete, Hiroyuki took on a new name, Jiraiya, and together with his lover Tsunade, reclaimed—
Oh! Ooh, there's so much reference! There's so much reference! Orochimaru, Tsunade, Jiraiya! Oh my god, my fan! Oh my god, my little fanboy inside is like,
claimed his father's throne from the terrible Orochimaru. That's why we see the ninja like Yiga and even the Sheikah worshipping multiple frog statues. Like Jiraiya, who was guided by the toad sage Senso, so too are the Yiga and Sheikah guided by froggy guardian spirits. And again, we're still just outside of the Yiga's base of operations. I haven't even begun to talk about its interior. Cause once you set foot inside their hideout, look at this! Where the Sheikah borrowed their architecture from ancient Jomon period Japan, the Yiga have apparently dug out an old Gerudo temple and repurposed it with architecture taken from Japan's more modern Muromachi era. It's completely unmistakable. But if you think the first couple of rooms is overkill, check out what I can only describe as the Matsuri room. And I say that because it's built exactly the same way as a traditional Japanese festival. There's taiko drums scattered all across the room, which are typically played for big-time festivals like Obon. There's lanterns strung all over the room and a big one in the middle, again, very similar to the Festival of Obon.
Yes, I know.
And lastly, and I seriously have no idea why the Yiga have this, literally everywhere in the room are yatai-style food stalls. These are typically where businesses set up shop cooking all manner of street food and sweets at—
Yes, yatais, those kind of food stalls at the Omatsuri.
Festivals! What? Once I got over that shock of confusion, I saw that there was a wall you could hit with Link's Magnesis room, only to discover another real-world ninja trick known as the Donden Gaishi door.
Oh, a hidden door! Oh my god, there's so much reference! Oh! Oh my god!
Now, I'm sure you've seen these before. These are revolving doors made for quick escapes for any ninja pursued in their own home, while intruders may only see them as simple walls. But nothing. And I mean, nothing could have prepared me for the finale of the Yiga's hideout. Their leader, Koga. See, up to this point, I had a weird sneaking suspicion that Nintendo were modeling the Yiga clan after the 𝐸𝐴 clan, one of the most historically famous ninja clans to ever come out of Japan. And I mean, come on, they sounded so similar.
Yeah.
Yiga, 𝐸𝐴. But after seeing this thick boy, it all came together, culminating into one of the greatest video game ninja references I've ever seen. Here's why. Back in the 1500s, an ambitious daimyo by the name of Oda Nobunaga had been unleashing a countrywide campaign to unify Japan. Though he was successful in his mission, he was ruthless, cunning, and would do anything to assure victory, even slaughtering innocent civilians. So heartless were his tactics that he called himself the Demon King of the Sixth Heaven, basically Buddhist Satan. Now, put a pin on that name, because we're going to be coming back to it later. In his campaign, Nobunaga sent his son, Oda Nobuo, to conquer the southern provinces of Yiga and Koga in order to bring the independent ninja clans under his heel. However, underestimating their own cunning, Nobuo was crushed by the 𝐸𝐴 clan ninja. 12,000 of Nobuo's men were annihilated by only 4,000 𝐸𝐴 warriors.
Wow.
Needless to say, this not only enraged Nobuo, but also his father Nobunaga, who
Overwhelming win.
dropped everything and began a personal campaign against the 𝐸𝐴 known as the Tensho War. Swift and merciless was Nobunaga's retribution, leading 40,000 warriors in a slaughter against the 𝐸𝐴. But he and his forces weren't alone. Nobunaga learned from his son's failure and integrated a large number of his own hired ninja from the neighboring province of Koga, who were strong rivals to the 𝐸𝐴. Together, Nobunaga's men and the Koga clan destroyed the 𝐸𝐴. Not just their men, but women and children as well.
No!
The 𝐸𝐴 clan was scattered across the country, but eventually established themselves near Mikawa, becoming vassals to another one of Japan's great leaders, Ieyasu Tokugawa. However, the age of 𝐸𝐴's independence was over. Now, doesn't this all sound just a little too familiar? We have Ganon, the self-proclaimed Demon King of Hyrule, who after a humiliating defeat at the hands of the Sheikah, integrated their rival clan, the Yiga, led by a guy named Koga, into his army in order to take over Hyrule. And then, we have Nobunaga, the self-proclaimed Demon King of the Sixth Heaven, who after a humiliating defeat at the hands of the 𝐸𝐴, integrated their rival clan, the Koga, into his army in order to take over Japan.
A lot of subtle references to the real-world historical events. Interesting.
This is literally the most one-to-one connection I've ever seen when it comes to ninja culture and games. And if you think this is just some kind of crazy coincidence, I have another full video talking about the historical connections the Sheikah have with the aforementioned 𝐸𝐴 clan. It's part of a new series I have on my channel called Which Ninja that looks into media's most popular shinobi to see which are good and which are bad. Check it out if you want to see even more evidence linking the shinobi of Hyrule to their real-world counterparts. Otherwise, check out those annotations and links in the description for even more game theories presented by myself, Austin of the Science Of series, and of course our best boy MatPat with game theory. But until next time everyone, this is Goomba signing out.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this video has been very educational and knowledgeable for you to watch. If you do like this video, please remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you have anything to share with us. Don't forget to follow my channel, and I sincerely appreciate all of your support and encouragement for me and my work. But hey, that's just a game. A game exchange. Culture Shock. Thanks for watching. Thank you. And I'll see you in my next video. Subscribe!